Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only one of each Nidoran was a fun tag team run. Let's follow that up with a full team run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Diamond with a team of only HMs? So right away, you're probably wondering why Pearl when I typically just do Platinum. Well, the Ghost Gym is the third gym in Platinum, so we don't actually have any HMs that can win that fight. In Pearl, the Ghost Gym is the fifth one, so the run is at least possible. And I'm sure you've seen HM runs from me in the past, but you already kind of know what this is. The HMs are on screen. Those are the only moves we're going to be able to use in battle the entire run, but we can use any Pokemon that we want to use those moves. You know, assuming they've learned the moves. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'll win eventually, but this is really about figuring out whatever weird team works best. It should be a fun one. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use HMs. I'm not going to need other Pokemon to use HMs, considering I only have HM Pokemon, so I guess that rule is irrelevant. I'll put it on screen just because it feels weird to not have it on screen, but just know that rule doesn't mean anything. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. No need for the randomizer this time, I just go with Piplup. Our nature is sassy, so more special defense and less speed. It's kind of a weird one, but why not? Let's roll with it. So the challenge doesn't start until we get our first HM, Rock Smash. We'll get it before the first gym though, so the only major fight that we don't have our rules for is an easy rival fight. Before that though, we can catch 3 new Pokemon. First is Bidoof. You know I needed this. It can learn most of the HMs in the game after evolving. I might even use more than one of these in the long run. Who knows? Next, I got Starly. I can't use it until I get Fly later on in the run, since that's the only HM it learns, but it's gonna hit really hard with it, so I figure it'll be useful. And last, I get the Old Rod and catch Magikarp. It's another one that we can't use for quite a while, but I figure that a Water Onix would hit really hard with Waterfall. We won't get that HM until near the end of the game though, so we'll have to use other stuff that we get along the way. For now though, it's just Piplup and Bidoof. Let's grab Rock Smash and try the Rock Gym. First is Geodude, and we weren't doing as much damage as they are. We traded shots with it for a bit, but quickly lost Bidoof. We went to finish it off with Prinpulp, but it held on with a potion. I guess it didn't really matter in the end, since the only extra hit Geodude got in was Stealth Rock, so it's not gonna do anything. Next was Onix, and right away it hit Screech, so I was worried. Rock Throw missed us though, so we lucked out. We ended up critting a Rock Smash to take it out early, but our defense is still down. Last is the super high attack Cranidos. I was worried. It dropped our defense even more with Leer, we dropped its defense with Rock Smash, it dropped us another stage with Leer, then we hit Rock Smash to take it out. Man, I bet if it just attacked, we would have fainted. That means we're moving again, and already we're having a slightly slow, but still steady time making our way through the game. We really don't hit that hard with Rock Smash, but we're leveling quickly, so it doesn't matter too much. Now, Diamond and Pearl are notoriously slow games. By that I mean, there's just a ton of wait time in the battles. It's constantly taking little pauses before, like, menus pop up and stuff. Those add up very quickly, and playing it side by side with Platinum, you can feel a massive difference. We're trying that randomizer option that I tried in Platinum last time, where it doubles the speed that the health bar and experience bars move, and it does help, but it really does not make up for the other little pauses. Like, it's not even close. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it does make it feel a lot slower when we have to land a lot more hits to make something faint. Let's just get past Mars so we can learn Cut. It's a slight upgrade. So the first try at Commander Mars was just brutal. Zubat of all things is nearly impossible to take out due to its double resistance to our weak fighting move, and it's got Toxic, so we're just about doomed. I stuck with it because we just kept landing defense drops, but it hardly mattered. In the end we took it out, but it made Bibarel faint and hit Toxic on Prinpulp, so although we were hitting pretty hard on Perugly, we still just went down. That is just brutal. I'll have to grind and come back. So I got the team up to level 20, and things went much better as Zubat took a few turns before it bothered using Toxic. We ended up taking it out much sooner because of that, so I just had Bibarel fight Perugly. It was still a bit slow, but it was easy this time. So we might be able to get our next Pokemon soon, but it's a little bit random since it's a Honey Tree Pokemon, so there's There's a chance I don't get it the whole run. I want an Apom. It's one of the highest attack normal type Pokemon that we can get. It's also one that we can teach moves to pretty early so that I don't just have to have it on the sidelines for ages like Starly and Magikarp. But I don't pick what I get with the honey trees. All I can do is slather honey on a bunch of trees and then come back later and hope that an Apom shows up. I guess wish me luck on that front. Anyway, I grabbed the HM for Cut so we have a new move, and get the experience share so that I can start leveling up the members of the team that don't have HMs yet. Let's go see how the grass gym goes. Right away, Cherubi was a 2-shot and only used Safeguard. Well, we have no afflictions we can use anyway since it's an HM run, so that did nothing, we just took it out. Second was Turtwig, and it did what I was worried about right away, Reflect. Now, I thought it would Leech Seed right after and we'd have a problem, but it kept using Withdraw instead to boost its defense. I'm a water type, I don't know why it's not just trying to hurt me. Eventually, she used a Super Potion to heal back up and Grass Knot to do damage, but then Reflect wore off. We would have gotten the knockout then, but our Cut missed, so he hit Razor Leaf before we took him down. If he just used Reflect, then a bunch of Razor Leafs, I bet we'd have lost. Last was Roserade, and Stun Spore missed as we crit with a Cut to deal massive damage. She used Poison Sting for some reason, and the next Cut got us the knockout. That was a first try at the Grass Gym with a Water type. Not bad. Alright, so the Grass Gym went better than I expected. Cut is a pretty huge upgrade for us right now. Between the better move and our other Pokemon starting to catch up in levels, I have a pretty good feeling about this pace of the run. I figure that the Jupiter fight would be easy, then we've got a rival. I don't think those will be hard, but I really don't have high hopes for the fighting gym after that. We'll have to see how it goes. So Jupiter went much better than Mars did, mostly just because we have Cut now, so we don't have to worry about using Rock Smash on a Zubat. Also, they don't have Toxic, so there wasn't a ton they could do to stop us. I always thought it was so weird that Mars has Toxic so early in the game, one gym into the game. And the rival right after was so easy that we took about 6 damage grand total? I'm not really sure. I lost track of how much damage we took because we healed from the Shell Bell from Heart Home City. Total pushover, no issue at all. Alright, so we have the fighting gym as the last step between us and 2 whole new HMs. Fly and Strength. We can technically reach Strength now, but I'm pretty sure there's a required ghost fight in the tower where I get it, and we can't hit ghosts until we have Fly at the earliest. So I'll have to beat the fighting gym first. I have to grind first though, because the trainers in the fighting gym alone are able to take us out most of the time. I'll get our team to the low level 30s and then give it a try. Alright, so right away Meditite had me worried when it started using Drain Punch, but we crit the first Cut to deal a lot of damage. The second Cut just made her use a Hyper Potion, but I guess it's better that she used it now rather than on something like Lucario. Our level 31 Prin Pulp nearly went down to Meditite, but they kind of just threw the fight at the end when they stopped using Drain Punch for whatever reason. Then Machoke came out and used Leer, and then Foresight, letting me get a bunch of free hits in before actually finishing off the last 5 health that I have. What is with the AI today? Is this like a Diamond and Pearl thing that they fixed in Platinum? So in goes Bibarel and Machoke hits Brick Break to take us to below half health, then she used a Hyper Potion. I thought the fight was probably over since I'd go down in 1 hit, but then he used Foresight, so we finished him off. Out came Lucario and I figured we were doomed, but Rock Smash did a lot more damage than I was expecting, and it got a defense drop. Not only that, but Bone Rush missed. Our next Rock Smash left him with a sliver of red health as he ate a berry and then hit Bone Rush. It's a multi-hit move. It hit 4 times, and the 4th hit was a crit, taking us down to only 5 health. If it hit 1 more time, we'd have fainted, but it didn't, so we landed Rock Smash for the most narrow victories. I grinded before I went into this fight because of the trainers in the gym, but this was a first try. With that done, we can finally get our HMs. I go ahead and get both Fly and Strength right away. Fly means that we have a bit more type coverage as we can use Flying type in battle, and Strength is just a straight up upgrade for Cut that we can use on some of our Pokemon. It's going to especially be good for Bibarel since that's normal type. I figure the upcoming water gym will be probably pretty easy, and maybe the rival fight after, but then we have the ghost gym, and I could see that being a problem. Fly alone isn't gonna cut it, so we'll have to beat that one with Surf once we get to it. They start with Water Onix, so I decide to send Staravia in first. That way, Water Onix has less attack, and we don't get the attack drop on a Pokemon that we actually need for the fight. We went down fast, but that's what I expected. I sent in Bibarel to use Strength and crit to take it out. Second was Quagsire, who didn't hurt us and went down in 2 easy hits. And last was Floatzel, who just wasn't doing any serious damage, so we took it out with Prinpulp pretty easily. We've gotten a pretty interesting first try on every gym so far. This is a really well-paced run. And the rival right after was super easy, no problem at all. We're a much higher level than him, and Bibarel is a real beast with Strength right now. That means that we're moving and we can finally get our much needed HM Surf. Obviously, I go around and teach it to most of the team as soon as I can, but I can't actually use it outside of battle until we beat the Ghost Gym, so that's what's next. I don't think it'll be too bad since we can use Surf in the fight, but who knows. I'm used to Platinum's Ghost Gym, not the Diamond one. I know that this one is going to be harder, so wish me luck. Alright, so I think I'm going to need a serious grind before we can beat the Ghost Gym. I gave it a couple of tries, but it never goes well at all. Drifbloom is difficult enough, but the real problem is that she's got Mismagius. It's super effective against half of our team, and never misses. I think I just need Staravia to get a lot stronger so that this won't be so bad. I'm also going to be putting the experience share back on Magikarp to get it to evolve, then I can teach it Strength and Surf, and it can finally be a productive member of the team. So I came back and tried again after evolving Staravia into Staraptor. It is a night and day difference. Mismagius is now pretty easy to take out, and although Gengar lasts long enough to finish off Staraptor, we still have the entire rest of our team ready to tag in and spam Surf. Gengar did last ages though. It even took out our Water Onix. I gotta say, it's pretty cool being able to tag into 2 different Pokemon that have Intimidate. Time for another member of the team. Now that we can use Surf outside of battle, I catch a Tentacool. In any one of these HM runs where I can get myself a Tentacruel, I do. It's just a really good Pokemon that can use Surf. Why wouldn't you want one? I've noticed that our entire team is weak to electricity, by the way. I really hope I can find an Apom soon. No luck on the honey trees yet. Let's go beat our rival and the Steel Gym, then we can finally get another HM. Man, our rival fights have been pretty easy this run. We've actually got a pretty good answer for everything on his team, and even when we don't have a type advantage, we can usually just win through Strength. The Steel Gym's gotta be really easy, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. It looks like in Diamond they have a Bronzor at the start, and it's a little different than what I'm used to, but Surf still just crushes his whole team easily. We have a lot of travel to do now, but that's alright because I'm probably gonna need the experience. We have the Ice Gym coming up, and it's usually one that I get stuck on in Platinum. I don't know if it's going to be much easier here in Diamond, but I guess I'll find out. I do know that I'm going to be getting Rock Climb along the way, although it's kind of a weird move in battle. It's slightly stronger than Strength, and it can cause confusion, but it can also miss. I'll learn it because I need it for making progress, but I'm not sure if I'll actually bother using it in a fight. They do get affected by Self Scarf though, and I can buy that easily, so that's kind of cool. I hope the Ice Gym goes well. So the Ice Gym in Diamond is kind of crazy because it's hailing since the very start of the fight. Her first 3 Pokemon are all really easy and we can take them out fast, but Abomasnow at the end is brutal. We actually lost the first try to this when Staraptor missed Fly, but on the second try I had Empoleon fight it first. We couldn't deal amazing damage and mostly went down to stuff like Confusion, but we did more than enough damage that we only needed 1 hit of Fly to win. Not easy, but not too bad. With that done, we just have the first Cyrus fight. The double battle on the mountain, and then the Cyrus fight on the mountain. It's so weird that the Cyrus fights are kind of just in a row like that, but whatever. I'm assuming the double battle is basically a free fight, so I really have to beat Cyrus twice, then the Electric Gym. I don't think I'm too worried about Cyrus. Maybe I'll lose the second Cyrus fight, but I don't think I'm going to have to grind too much before I could win. The Electric Gym is a different story. I could see us getting stuck there for ages. I guess I could wait around for honey trees and see if I could get an Apom that I could level up real quick, but that's unreliable and it's gonna take a while. I'll grind while I wait if I have to. For now, let's fight Cyrus. The first Cyrus fight really wasn't too bad, but I can see how it's gonna be hard next time. Murkrow is gonna hit really hard when it evolves, and Sneasel is gonna be super fast and freeze us with Ice Punch. The Cyrus fight is for sure going to be one that we have to grind for. I'll get some levels in on Mount Coronet and then climb to the top. Okay, this double battle on Mount Coronet took an entire 10 minutes. And that's with sped up health bars and experience bars, and battle animations turned off, fastest text speed. Our rival was incredibly useless, and lost most of his team over the course of the fight. At one point, he was sending in Pokemon that were so bad that I was using Surf to try and make them faint so he'd throw in his good ones. Why does he not evolve so many of his Pokemon before this fight, but then he evolves them right when we're about to fight them at the end of the game? Oh, I hate this guy. Alright, time for Cyrus, and I had to level up a bit for this fight because he jumps you the moment the double battle's done, and I wasn't ready, I had the wrong Pokemon out first. Honchkrow's first, and I sent in Empoleon to tank its hits. It actually ended up switching when it was about to faint to send in Water Onix. I just kept fighting it, but Rock Climb was basically doing nothing, so I was forced to use Surf. It did a weirdly good job though. We took it down with some health left. Out to be Barrel to deal with Weavile. We took a lot of damage off X-Scissor and Ice Punch, but 2 strengths was enough to take her down. Second from last was Crobat, so I sent Empoleon back in knowing it couldn't poison me. Its critical bite and its Air Slash took us down to red health, but we still knocked it out. Last was his nearly 0 health Honchkrow, who just went down in 1 hit of strength. We win! And finally after that is the Electric Gym, and I've been worried about this one. Right away, strength nearly one-shot Raichu, but it hung on to hit a Brick Break for half of our health. Man, we're so close to a one-shot on it. That's fine, it healed and we just finished it off. Luxray took a lot of damage from strength, healed a ton with a berry, took us out, and then we had to send in Empoleon next. Surf hit it decently hard, but its Charge Beam took out almost half of our health before we finished it off. Next up is Ambipom. Really wish I had one of those, but I'm having terrible Honey Tree luck over here. I had a Water Onix go in, but it just Baton Passed on the first turn to Octillery. Alright, that's fine I guess. We just hit it with Strength a few times. It healed and used Aurora Beam, but it's a really weak move, so we were fine. Last was the Ambipom that ran away last time, and we easily took it out by using Fly twice with Staraptor. That wasn't as bad as I was expecting. What a strange team. Alright, we're going to the end of the run. We've got Waterfall now, so I go ahead and teach it to Water Onix. It's got way higher attack than special attack, so this is going to do more damage than Surf for sure. That upgrade alone is going to help us a lot, but I still don't really know how I feel about the next part of the run. We have a usually very hard rival fight, and then the Elite Four. Maybe Flint will be easy, and maybe Bertha will be too, but Cynthia herself is usually pretty difficult. Maybe I could beat it when my team is in the high 50s or low 60s, but for now I'll try and get them near level 50 for the rival fight. First is his Staraptor, so I sent in Water Onix to match its Intimidate, just for it to U-turn to Heracross. Well, that's fine. I switch into our own Staraptor, tank an Aerial Ace, then one-shot it with Fly. I send in Water Onix to deal with his Floatzel, and he did just about no damage to us with Brick Break and Aqua Jet. I sent in Staraptor to fight his Torterra, and once again, we hardly got hurt at all. As his Staraptor came back out, I sent in Empoleon knowing that I don't care if I lose attack, just for him to U-turn again to switch into Snorlax. So I ended up having a brutally long fight with Snorlax, where I kept spamming Rock Smash to lower his defense as he kept using Rest to stay alive. He never hurt us, and stayed up for entire minutes doing this. Obviously, the defense drops was too much for him, and eventually we took him down. Finally, out came his Staraptor again, and we took it out with just a few hits of Surf. Last is his Rapidash, but obviously most of our team are water types, so we're fine. That's the last rival fight down. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our team. I got us all up to level 50 because I figured that anything lower would be pointless, and I went to the move deleter to get rid of all of our non-HM moves that we've learned so far, and to replace a few old HM moves with newer, better ones. Mostly just replacing Cut with Strength. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Bug Trainer Aaron. This whole fight was super easy. Drapion was the only member of his team that took a while to take down. The entire rest of his team was no match for Staraptor. Second is Ground Trainer Bertha. Now, you'd think this one would be really easy, but this is actually my third try, and the winning run is 6 minutes long. We do have good water moves to hit them with, and they generally don't hit us super hard, but we have about 1 Pokemon Faint for every 1.5 that we take down. We do win, and it's basically just us spamming our best water moves with an occasional normal move when appropriate, but it was a lot closer than I expected. She really did a lot of damage just through brute force. I mean, I call her strategy brute force. We only have HM moves, and most of them are pretty standard do damage moves, but you know what I mean. It was really impressive how well she did, but then again, it seems like in Diamond and Pearl, the Elite Four are a much higher level than in Platinum. Third is Fire Trainer Flint. This one went a lot better just because we hit so hard against them. Lopunny and Driftbloom at the end were most of the runtime of the fight, and it's just because we didn't hit Lopunny that hard, and Driftbloom loves spamming Double Team. It wasn't bad though, we had a lot of our team left by the end. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Lucian. This goes awful, but I want to show you how awful it goes because it kind of blew my mind. This is already the third try because I had to figure out that Mr. Mime has Thunderbolt, so it's a no-use scenario for Water Onix. But no matter what, Mr. Mime takes out a bunch of our good Pokemon, as we take forever to make him faint. He uses Light Screen, Reflect, and Full Restores, so it's really hard to make this thing faint. We lost more than half of our team to it. Next was Medicham, who you'd think would be a one-shot with Fly, but it survived, so we lost so much health before we actually took it out. Now, I had no excuse at all to beat Alakazam since it was doing so much damage with its good moves, until it randomly decided to use Focus Blast, so we survived and took it out with Waterfall. That was baffling. Second from last was Girafarig, though, and it's super fast and took down the entire team no problem. We're just way too low of a level. Let's get up to level 55 on the team. That's still quite a bit lower than his team. Okay, it's a night and day difference. In 5 levels, we're strong enough that Bibarel can two-shot Mr. Mime as long as he starts with Light Screen on the first turn and Reflect on the second. Medicham still hits really hard, but Staraptor was able to take it out in 2 hits. Thanks to all the wasted turns from Fly, we got Reflect and Light Screen to wear off. Alakazam is always difficult, and took out both Empoleon and Staraptor, but Water Onix was able to come in and crit a Waterfall to one-shot it. We really needed that. Next is Girafarig, so I sent in Bibarel with a Silk Scarf to use Strength. We took more than half of our health and damage from Psychic, so I assumed I'd faint on the second one. But then he used Crunch and we hung on, so we took him out. What is this, Gen 1? What is with the AI in Diamond? Last is Bronzong, but he couldn't really do anything to Water Onix unless he used Psychic, and he almost never did. So although we did eventually go down, we just sent in Bibarel to finish it. I can't believe we won. Finally, the Pokemon champion Cynthia. First is Spiritomb, so I sent in Empoleon. They don't actually have any moves that we don't resist, so we have a really easy time taking her down. We even got her to use a Full Restore. Gastrodon is next, and I was hoping that Bibarel could take it out by trading shots with Waterfall, but we left it with a Sliver and never got it to flinch, so we had to send in Tentacruel to finish it off. That's around when everything fell apart. Garchomp is faster than literally our entire team, and although some of our Pokemon can be sent in to do some decent damage, they'll go down very quickly. We haven't even gotten to our Melodic or Roserade yet, let alone Lucario. I don't think we can win this fight below level 60, but let's try at level 58 and just see what happens. So I gave it a few tries at level 58. Spiritomb is still super easy, and the first major difference is that Bibarel is strong enough to take out Gastrodon on his own now. We do lose about half of our health and get poisoned, but just having Bibarel still alive at this point is a pretty big difference. Now I notice whenever I finish that Gastrodon fight with Bibarel, he sends in Roserade, so I one-shot it with Staraptor, but then was Melodic. I started hitting Strength with Bibarel for great damage, but we still went down pretty fast in between Ice Beam and Poison damage. We got a good 2 hits in though. Water Onix was able to finish it off. Now, nearly the entire second half of the fight is the same thing as before, just throwing our team at Garchomp one by one until we get it to faint. Having 2 Pokemon with Intimidate helps, but she's got Earthquake and it's good against a lot of our team. We did finally take her down this time, but last was Lucario, and all we could do was land 1 decent hit before we fainted. Even a crit wouldn't have won us the fight. We're so close though. Maybe 2 more levels so we're level 60? Many more tries at level 60 and the fight has changed a little bit again. Now Beryl is able to take out Gastrodon with more health left and without getting poisoned, and against a Melodic I started with Water Onyx and did the whole fight pretty easily. This means we still have Beryl for later in the fight. The Garchomp fight is still all about throwing my team at it, but her hilariously bad AI does help us a lot. She loves using Brick Break against flying types, it's really weird. When she does use stuff like Giga Impact, it usually does a lot of damage though. She has a habit of using it to finish me off when she could have used something else, leading to me getting an extra hit. It's magical when it happens, but it's still luck. On this run, we did manage to take out Garchomp again, but once Lucario came out, we have an incredibly, agonizingly close run, where if Lucario just missed that Aura Sphere, we would have won. Okay, 2 more levels. I swear this is possible. 2 levels later, now we actually take out Gastrodon without even getting hit, so Beryl is in perfect shape by the time we get to Garchomp. Everything else goes pretty much the exact same leading up to it. This time I got a few flies in, and she made Staraptor faint with Giga Impact, so we got an extra hit with Water Onyx during the recharge time. We traded shots for ages, and we really should have fainted, but we hung on with only 4 health to take out Garchomp. This is the first time Water Onyx has survived. Last is Lucario, so I sent in Tentacruel to tank an Earthquake and hit Surf before going down. I then sent Water Onyx back in to hit Intimidate, then go down, and last I sent in our full health Beryl to finish it off with a few hits of Waterfall. It's a really good thing that that last hit didn't make us faint, because our only backup would have been outsped and one-shot. That was incredibly close. That was actually a really fun run. Now don't get me wrong, every single attempt on every major fight that I lost took entire minutes longer than normal because of the super slow speed of diamond battles, but it's still fun doing HM runs, and this wouldn't have been possible in Platinum, so it's not like I regret doing it. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual, with Pokemon Silver, with only version exclusives. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. Okay, I'm only talking about anything on the outro that people are going to consider somewhat depressing, maybe. However, I do like giving people life updates because they're asking for life updates all the time. For any of you who only watch for these Pokemon challenges, by the way, I've had this channel for 14, 15 years now that I've been uploading to it nonstop. And I've always had vlogs and stuff on it where I talk about personal life stuff, or I've just talked about it in videos and stuff. So this is kind of an integral part of the channel. I got some of you watching me who've been watching me for legitimately over 10 years, and you're always asking me for life updates and everything. So I feel like this is the appropriate place to put it right now. Some of you know that me and my ex-wife split up months and months ago now. She is officially moved out and going on with her life in her own place and everything, which means that I have the place to myself finally. It's been obviously a ton of work in my personal life, just going through and detaching accounts and moving things over to be in my name and just the whole rigmarole of all of the things involved in that. It's a lot of work, as you can probably imagine, but getting it done. I think I'm probably past most of that stuff now. I've got most of it hammered out, and she only moved out pretty recently, so I still need to kind of clean up the whole place and reorganize and everything, because a lot of moving was done, and obviously you need to do some cleaning after some moving. So I might be just a little bit busy in the short term, but I literally have my whole home to myself now, and I have a lot more free time now that I'm not always helping out with the move and constantly busy with the personal life stuff. So legitimately, I am going to be streaming more. I'm going to have more time to stream, kind of like back when she was in France before and I had more time to stream. I know you guys were really happy about that over on Twitch. I do stream on YouTube once in a blue moon, but most of my streams are on Twitch just because I like to not have all my eggs in one basket. It's nice streaming on multiple platforms. Not at the same time. I don't do multi-streams. I don't know. I don't think they're that fun to watch. I like when there's just one unified chat that everybody is typing in. Makes it a lot easier to communicate with the chat, So, most of my streams are on Twitch. You guys already know where my Twitch is. It's linked in the description of literally all of my videos. So, if you've ever read one of my descriptions, you've probably already seen the Twitch link. Oh, and If you've never used Twitch TV, by the way, for like watching gaming streams, it's free. I just thought I'd specify that because for some reason, a lot of people who don't know much about Twitch think that you have to like pay to have a Twitch account or something. No, it's totally free. Sometimes people are like, oh, but don't you have to pay to subscribe on Twitch? Yeah, subscriptions on Twitch are like memberships on YouTube. What you're thinking of, like YouTube subscription, where it's just the free, like following, like let me know when you do a video thing. On Twitch, that's just called following. And yeah, that's totally free. Account's free. You can follow people for free. You can watch for free. It's all free. You don't need to pay anything. Don't feel like you need to tip me or anything. Don't feel like you have to subscribe to my Twitch or anything like that. It's all just a free show for fun. Yeah, can't wait to do more of that. Like always, all the recordings of the streams I put up on YouTube after. Usually it'll be unlisted, but in a playlist for early viewing until I have everything like ready for it, and then I'll air it at some point so that people know that it's there. But you can watch it early if you go in the playlists, which some of you already know because I've done that for a long time for a lot of things. So you know, you get first dibs if you check Twitter or the playlists or whatever. So I'm really excited to stream more for you guys because I've been wanting to for ages and ages and ages. Like, you guys have no idea. For anyone who just tuned in the last few years, you probably don't even know that I was like a Let's Player for like a decade, and I'm still a Let's Player, and it's still like my favorite thing in the world is streaming and Let's Playing. So I'm so happy I'm finally going to have more time to do that again. I really, really missed it. So, don't ask when any Let's Play is coming back. You guys know the cardinal rule, which is I never know the answer to when. When is... The answer to when is just when it happens. But the answer is if it'll happen. If you're about to say, are you going to do Pokemon Stadium 2? Or are you going to continue Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? Or are you going to do other Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games? Or if you're going to ask, are you going to do more Pokemon spin-off games? Or if you're going to ask, are you going to do more Pokemon A Journey of more recent Pokemon games? The answer to all of those is yes, I will. You know that, because if you're watching the Let's Plays, you've probably already watched my Pokemon Let's Plays in which I said yes to all of those. But I understand some of them have been a few years and you want to double check to see if that is still the answer. Rest assured, you can still your beating heart because yes, the answer is still the same. The answer is yes, and they will come out when they occur. I wish I could tell you when, but look, I gotta wrangle together people's schedules for it. So I never know when it's gonna come out. Like, I would never be able to answer when, basically. The only time I'd be able to answer when is if I've already recorded it. And if I've already recorded it, then it's probably coming out in the next couple days anyway, so like, you're not gonna miss it. Alright, so yeah, Stadium 2 is happening at some point. More Mystery Dungeon is happening at some point. I am going to do more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I'm going to do more Pokemon spin-off games. I'm probably going to do a RimWorld. I don't know if it'll be like a stream or a full playthrough or what, of RimWorld with a Pokemon mod that looks really fun. I don't know if it's been updated to work with the new DLC, but we'll see what happens. I kind of want to mess around with that because it just seems like a fun time. So yeah, I'll be doing all kinds of Pokemon stuff and also non-Pokemon related stuff. More wrestling games, more Bannerlord, just, I don't know, fun stuff, whatever I want to play. That's enough rambling for me, though, because my stomach is growling and I gotta get a meal in me. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.